So what we're going to do today is take a look at this hive because they've been real slow in drawing out their comb. We're going to see if we can help speed it up in July. A big question that all of you are asking me this time of the year in July is, can I still get my bees to draw out comb in July? Can I make a split? Can I make a new hive? Is it too late to get started in beekeeping? And one of the reasons why most people feel that it's really too late is because can bees really draw the comb out that they need? So now we're going to go out to a hive in just a second. So stay tuned for this video to get out there in the hive and I'll show you what I'm going to do to help the bees draw out comb in the month of July. Let's talk about that today. Hey everybody, David Burns, EAS Certified Master Beekeeper. Good to be with you today. What about bees drawing out comb late in the season? Can they really do that? We know they can do it early in the year, like April and May and June. They seem to draw out the comb, the wax on the frames pretty fast. In order to do this, there has to be 3 conditions present. Stay tuned in this video because at the very end I've got a special tip for you. But let's talk about these 3 conditions that bees need to draw out wax on your frames if that's frustrating you because it's not being done. Number 1, first of all, the bees need population. They need to be crowded. The more crowded bees are, the more populations are strong, the more they know they need more room. It's just like if you fill up all your kitchen cabinets, you feel like you could really use another cabinet. So bees are like that as well. If they're overcrowded, they have this desire to make more room, to build more room to put things. And so if your bees are low in population, if they're weaker in number, not going to draw out comb very well. The second condition they need is they need a strong group of 12 to 17 day old bees. Now these bees are wax builders because their wax glands become active between the days of 12 and 17. These are the days that bees really build out wax with their wax glands. Underneath their abdomen, they have these little plates where liquid wax is dispersed on them and they harden. They may put another layer on it and they have a total of 8, 4 on the sides of their abdomen, and they actually make the wax. The third condition that they need is a lot of nectar or honey or sugar water. So in other words, a colony needs to consume approximately 10 to 11 pounds of this nectar, honey, sugar water in order to produce just 1 pound of wax. In order for the wax glands to really produce wax, they have to consume that much, 10 to 11 pounds to make 1 pound of wax. Now you can see already these 3 conditions begin to taper off as the season progresses. So what we have to do if we want comb frames drawn out in the months of July or later even, we have to create these 3 conditions. We have to overcrowd the colony. Maybe we have to reduce the boxes up on top, take some supers off, consolidate the bees, crowd them into a deep or 2 deeps, whatever it takes. Once they're in a crowded state, now we need to make sure they have young bees. Now, if they don't have young bees 12 to 17 days old, what we have to do is go to another colony. It's real simple. You can create the condition and you just have to bring over a frame of capped brood. A frame of capped brood means that as soon as those bees emerge, they're going to become, in about 12 days after they emerge, they're going to become wax producers. So you know that if you bring over a frame of capped brood that are pupae and they're going to emerge, within 3 weeks you're going to have, just on one frame, you're going to have 7,000 wax makers. So you can create that condition. So you can crowd them, that's one condition. You can bring over the workforce, that's 2 conditions. But now you need to feed them. And what we're going to show you today is, look at this, my special feed solution with my additives in it. I'm going to put it on a top feeder, and this is going to allow the bees to consume that amount of liquid sugar water in order to produce the wax. Let's head in the field, get her done. I've added a second deep on, and they're going slow in pulling it out. Let's look at a few frames here. I added it maybe a couple of weeks ago, and they are drawing out some of the frames. Wearing gloves and a suit today because in July, gosh, the bees can get defensive. So I have to go about 3 frames over, and you can start to see that they are drawing some of the comb out. Do you see it there, the new comb? But not on this side. So we have a little ways to go. I don't feel like we can wait and let them get caught up. They are starting to draw out the 9th frame next to the wall nicely, and even got nectar in there. But I want to speed it up. Oh, look at this. Even the one next to the wall now has some drawn comb on it. So it's not terrible, but nothing over here. So we want to get it going a little faster. This is a little piece of plastic that accidentally got left in there when I put some new frames in there. Oh yeah, see, you can even tell here that the combs aren't really drawn out very well this direction. So in other words, like this frame here against the wall, even in the bottom deep, nothing. So the first thing we really have to cross off our list is, do we have an issue? In other words, is there a queen issue? Do we have brood? And so let's take a frame out and just start inspecting it. If you have a poorly laying queen, then you're not really going to ever have the population that you need to draw out the wax foundation. So let's just have to rule that out by taking a look. There's a lot more honey in here already than there is brood. Isn't this great? This is how you learn about beekeeping. Somebody has to just show you, why aren't my bees drawing out the wax? Most of my hives are just going crazy building out wax all year. So we're going to pull this frame out because it's the center of the brood nest area. How's the queen doing? All right, so in this case, we're looking here and we see the queen right there toward walking toward the middle. But look at all the empty cells. There's just not much eggs in those prepared cells. Same over here, look at that. No eggs. Why not? That's a good question, isn't it? Could be the time of the year, could be the queen. Right now, all things point to the queen. Let's look at another one before we make a decision about the queen being the problem of our combs not being drawn out. Where's my cap brood? Does anybody see cap brood? I don't. I don't even see any eggs in the cells. Seriously, no cap brood, no eggs. See if I have any cap brood. Not even any larvae. No larvae. And here's my cap brood, but it's spotty and doesn't pass my inspection qualifications to be impressive at all. So there you go. That's the thing you always have to check for. What's the reason you don't have your populations to make out the wax? And the reason is we have a failing queen. She's not good. Fortunately, I caught it in July. I'm going to replace her with one of my queens from a mating nook that's ready. Okay, so one of the things we have to do is go to the mating nook that has some capped over brood and then put it here to help this colony have the workforce they need to draw frames out. Oh, look at that. I went and grabbed a frame of cap brood from a mating nook. The queen's laying decently. I'm going to put it in here, bees and all, right? Let's see if they get along. One of the things that I like to do in July is to smoke the hive before I insert a new frame from another colony with that's queen right. So kind of mask some odors. I'll just smoke this frame as well, and now we can just put it in there. So what we're doing now is we're giving this colony the future of 7,000 workers. Now you could do another one if you wanted to, but right now for video purposes, I'm showing you what I'm doing. This is enough to demonstrate the need to get more brood in here. But definitely, we're also going to give them a new queen as well. That'd be another video. We don't need to crowd them because we really can't. They're already in 2 deeps and they need this space. But the third thing that we need to do is we need to feed them. And now since the nectar flow has really slowed down, we're going to feed them. This is my Burns feeder. I've added my additive ingredients on here, and so they'll do well eating this. We put a brick on it. Okay, so it's always great to problem solve, critical thinking. I'm speaking in Nebraska in just about a few hours through a Zoom meeting to a bee conference in Omaha. But I wanted to show you guys how you take care of a hive that's really not drawing out the comb as fast as they should. The reason in this situation, no workers, no 12, 17-day-old bees. So we added some, and then we are going to replace the queen when I have a little bit more time, probably tomorrow, because that queen, as you saw, failed all my tests. No eggs, no larvae, no capped brood. How are they going to ever pull out wax, right? So we gave them a frame of capped over brood that's going to be emerging soon, any day, and they'll be joining the workforce. And meanwhile, I can get a new queen in there that's laying good, and voila, that's going to be great. So in order to do that, you have to kill the old queen, wait 24 hours, drop your new queen in there in a cage. I've showed you guys that on many videos. Now I've got an added bonus on how you can get your frames drawn out better in the month of July and following, when it's kind of late in the year to do it. Got a whole video on preparing the frame itself, adding wax to the frame. Here's the video, guys. I'll see you over there.